When I think of organ donation, it brings a smile to my face for a few reasons. One reason is because it always reminds me of a conversation I had with my husband, Dean. We were at the DMV waiting for our driver's license to be printed up. Dean noticed that I checked the box, organ donor. I didn't realize at the time that he was so against it. I stated all the reasons why I wanted to be one, mainly because I would be dead and would love to help others if I could. He still said that he wouldn't consent when I died. I laughed so hard because I thought of the irony. When he dies and the doctor asks if I want to donate his organs, it's going to be a big yes. We would love to help someone. The other reason I smile is because I think of my sweet nephew, Calvin. How even after he died, he was still giving to others. More than 123 people in the United States are currently on the waiting list for life-saving organ transplant. Another name is added to the national transplant waiting list every 12 minutes. 7% of people on the waiting list, more than 6,500 each year, die before they're able to receive a transplant, according to the American Transplant Foundation. You might be asking yourself if you could really save someone's life through an organ donation, and the answer is yes. One deceased donor can save up to 8 lives through organ donation and can save and enhance more than 100 lives through the life-saving and healing gift of tissue donation. Okay, what donations can we give? What organs? Organs that can be donated after death are the heart, the liver, the kidney, lungs, pancreas, and small intestines. Tissues include the corneas, skin, veins, heart, valves, tendons, ligaments, and bones. The cornea is the most common transplanted tissue. More than 40,000 corneal transplants take place each year in the United States, according to the American Transplant Foundation. My nephew, Calvin, died 7 years ago in a car accident. It wasn't expected, and we were all in shock. He was only 13 years old. My sister Donna and her husband decided to donate whatever they could because they knew Calvin would want to help others. Even though they made the decision to donate Calvin's organs, it was still hard to think about their little boy not being put in the ground whole. They also weren't sure what other people might say or think, when they saw Calvin in the casket. But the doctors did great, and you couldn't even tell that things were missing. In the February 1988 Ensign, Samuelson Jr., regional representative and physician, said, "The church has taken no official position on organ transplants. It seems obvious, however, that organ transplantation does not affect one's resurrection. Since the organ would soon have returned to the basic elements of the earth following death anyways, whatever happens to the organs following death, we are promised that every limb and joint shall be restored to its body. Yea, even a hair of the head shall not be lost." Alma 40:23. In the meantime, tremendous blessings have come to countless thousands and their families through organ donation and replacement. Several physicians included in transplants have shared with me inspirational stories and letters from those who have received the special service. Families grieving from the death of a loved one have been greatly comforted by the knowledge that other lives have been saved or measurably improved through recipient of a vital organ transplant. Calvin died in October, so the coming holidays were going to be really hard for their family. I saw my sister and her family struggle. They had spent Thanksgiving with us, and Donna shared how she was having such a hard time dealing with everything. When they arrived home after Thanksgiving, Donna called me crying. There was a letter waiting for them at home. They learned that someone was given the gift of sight after being blind their whole life because of Calvin's donation. That letter meant the world to my sister and her family and the rest of us. That small blessing of knowing that they helped someone even though they were in so much pain helped lessen their pain. In a story on KSL.com titled "Donors Family Reaches Out to the Girl Who Had Multi-Organ Transplant," talks about how an 8-year-old little girl, Kyrie, from Pittsburgh, needed a triple organ transplant. Her mother was so excited that her little girl was getting the transplant, but she also knew what that meant for another mother. She said, I couldn't wish that for that call because I knew that for us to get that call, what had to happen. I couldn't wish for someone to lose a child. In Lancaster, Pennsylvania, a family grieved over the death of their 5-year-old daughter, Ariana. Her mother said, we're going to miss her because our whole lives revolve around Ariana. But we're really happy that she was able to save some lives and that she's going to live on that way. According to the article, 4 children will live because of Ariana's organs that were donated. At her funeral, her mother said, we know that she was a miracle to begin with and that she had a purpose. To know that her purpose was not just touching the lives that we can see here, but now she's going to allow other people to live and maybe their future generations to live. It is just nice to know that Ariana is still making a difference in the world. When you are an organ donor, your loved ones can feel a sense of peace and happiness in a sad time in their life. It can also give them hope to go on with their own lives. At this point, you might be wondering, how can you become an organ donor? According to the dmv.org, there are 4 things you need to do. You need to register with your state's organ donor registry. Select yes, check that box to be an organ donor. You need to sign a card if it's available. And 4th, you need to talk to your family. You need to help your family understand and carry out your wishes. Sit down with your loved ones and talk with them. They can serve as your advocate and may be asked to give consent for donation or provide information to the transplant team. I wondered, since my husband didn't want me to donate my organs, could he really stop it from happening? According to organdonor.gov, it says, even if you're a registered donor, it is essential that your family knows your wishes. Your family may be asked to sign a consent form in order for your donation to occur. If you wish to learn how organ donation preferences are documented and honored where you live, contact your local OPO. The OPO can advise you of specific local procedures, such as joining donor registries that are available to residents in your area. You can Google OPO and look up your state and get all the information you will need. The next time that you're at the DMV, check that donor box. Talk to your family. Tell them about your wishes to donate your organs. Talk to your doctor so that he or she will know what your wishes are.